Everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would everyone please remain standing, please, for a moment of silence for all of our service people stationed all over the world and those who perish protecting our freedoms. Thank you. You may sit down. Welcome to our village board meeting on Monday, October 2nd, 2023 at 7 p.m. Do a roll call now. Participants. Trustee Alpert. Present. Deputy Mayor Corrigan.
Present.
Trustee Hagen. Present. Trustee Hogue.
Present.
And Mayor Curley, present. Our upcoming meetings at this point, a regular meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 6, 2023 at 7 p.m. And a regular meeting is scheduled for Monday, December 4th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Okay. Can I please have a motion for the approval of the September 5th, 2023 Board of Trustees meeting minutes, please?
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Trustee Hogue. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. At this moment, I'd like to set a public hearing for Monday, December 24th, 2023 at 7:03 p.m. to consider the 2024 Community Development Block Grant, the CDBG grant. That grant is it's a limited, Fred Rella works on that with a committee that we have appointed, in the village. It's a limited amount of area that we can appoint it to, and Fred will come back with their recommendations, soon enough there. So, can I get a motion setting up public hearing, please?
Motion, Trustee.
Motion made by Trustee Hagen. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second made by...
I just want to mention, so that's that's December 4th. I think you said December 24th, so I'm just...
No, okay, I thought I said 4th.
No.
So can I get a motion, please? Okay, can I get a second, please? You told me.
Yeah,
Oh,
second.
done? Okay, I said the 24th or the 4th?
The 4th.
I said the 4th.
I thought I heard
24th. Okay. You came in late, Steve, that's why. Okay, all in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Rella, please. In the grant program.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Thank you for setting that meeting. That's the first thing I just wanted to touch base on, was that the 2024 Community Development Block Grant process has begun. The Citizen Advisory Committee, which is made up of a diverse group of people within the community, we've already held 2 meetings, which are mandatory to hold in order to put in the application, to come up with an idea for what we're going to be applying for. We're looking at sidewalks and the streets over in the West Ward, and when we develop that a little bit further, we will let you know. I wanted to mention that, sometimes, we talk about these grants, but then they go on and on and on before the rubber hits the road and the reality of it happens. It takes so long at varying points in time. And this grant in particular, which is to put in the new boiler system at Village Hall, which the mayor was very instrumental in getting $235,000 through a CREST grant. And it was sponsored by Senator Elijah Reichland-Melnick. And right now, the boilers are, the old boilers have been taken out of the building, the new ones are being put in, and that project looks like it's going to be completed, it's anticipated around October 15th. So that's great, it'll be just in time for the heating season, and Charles, too, for his help on that's great. So that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Don't be talking about turning the heat up too much, Fred. We're trying to save money around this place, all right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Fred.
Sweat.
Thank you. Chief Loughlin, please.
Good evening, everyone. In the month of September, the police department responded to 893 calls for service. Just to update the board, the fall season of dare hockey began 3 weeks ago. We're in week 3 now. We're happy to report we had a large interest this year. We have a full roster on every team. Dare dances are also beginning this year. First dare dance is November 17th at the community center. In previous meetings, I reported to the board about our expanded enforcement efforts in the downtown business district. I just wanted to keep the board updated on that. We're continuing our increased foot patrols and our aggressive enforcement of quality of life violations. Arrests and citations for these type of violations remain high, and we'll continue to keep the board updated on the status of this initiative, but we're going to keep going with it as long as we need to. The only agenda item I have for the board's consideration tonight is, with regret, I would ask the board to accept the resignation of part-time police officer Jeffrey DeLuca. Officer DeLuca has been with our department since 2014, but is no longer able to continue his employment due to personal commitments.
Thank you.
I have a question, Chief. Is there a replacement? I didn't ask the mayor for him.
We haven't, we have nobody currently, but we will be doing some advertising to try
Plan was
to.
that we discussed it, we're going to advertise
Yeah.
that in another position, because we want those part-time police officers to be walking, okay? Like, in other words, the chief took a good initiative here. He recognizes if an officer who wants to be a part-time cop cannot fulfill the commitment and give us the hours, it's not, even though this guy he's a great cop, but he has a lot on his plate, so he can't offer us the full commitment that this village and taxpayers deserve, and the chief recognized that also, and that's kind of where we're at with that. But he was a great officer. We want to thank him for working with us and his time with us, and we wish him good luck in his other employment endeavors. Thank you very much. So can I have a motion, please, to accept the resignation of Jeffrey DeLuca, please? Motion made by trustee Alpert.
I didn't even say it. I was going to say motion.
I heard them both say, I got a second made by trustee Hagen. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Ms. Mills, please.
Good evening, everybody. So a few things that we have coming up this Friday at the ball fields. There will be a bonfire with a parade starting from Village Hall first, going down back to the ball fields. It's always a fun night. So 5 o'clock is the barbecue. You're all invited to the barbecue. 7 p.m. from Village Hall is lineup, and then they're going to take off at 7:15. So if you're around on Friday night and you want to join a parade, come on down. Wednesday, October 11th, we're starting again our nutrition workshops. That will be with Nancy, and it will be at 11 a.m. in the community room upstairs.
That's for the residents, right?
It's for residents of the village of
That's for any
Suffern.
resident wants to come.
Yep.
Nancy's very knowledgeable on health and fitness and things, so if anybody wants to come, they're more than welcome.
Yep. Saturday, October 21st, the window painting contest will be on. That's the opportunity for kids in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in the middle school to come out and to paint on our local shops. And we have the backpack, the electronic backpack at the schools is the registration. We've gotten some groups replying already. So it's 1 or 2 kids per team. So the Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring us and giving prizes for the event, but it's always a great day in the village, gets people out into the shops, and registration is ongoing for that. And then Sunday, October 22nd, Frank, I'm sure you're going to want to mention it too, Dog Day at Leo Leiden on the 22nd at 11 to 2. And then Sunday, October 29th, we have our Halloween parade and trunk or treat starting at 2 p.m. We're excited for that. We'll talk more about that. And then November, we're having the November 11th Veterans Day Parade, 11/11 at 11 a.m. And right now, this morning, actually, we started selling tickets for Broadway. So we've already sold about 20 tickets. It's open to Village of Suffern residents first for the first 2 weeks. And then if we do not sell out, we will open it up to non-Village of Suffern residents. So that's on November 18th, a 2 o'clock show, A Beautiful Noise. And I think that's it.
Thank you very much, Cathy. I just want to talk about Suffern Day. I thought it was a complete success. We had a lot of things going on with the weather and whatnot, but I think we put up a good show. I think I know I was happy, the residents were happy, the board members were all there, volunteering, and I thank all the other volunteers who helped also, and all the civic and organization that came, the EMS, the fire department, the police department, the sheriff's department has always come strong for us. And thank everyone that, and actually, the high school painting honor, what is it?
Yeah, the High School Art Honor Society.
Right, I was very impressed with them, and we had Good Samaritan there, right?
Yep.
We had the Rotary Club
So
there.
many, it really was.
Right,
It was
we
a
had the
great
American
turnout.
Legion there,
Yep.
which myself and Frank were members of. We had, we had the robotics, the high school robotics team was there.
Yep.
We had, other groups, if you know them, I just like to, we had that new building on Washington Avenue that's going up, that the apartments, and he showed the apartments he was going to be renting out. That was something new, and they gave us a donation for coming down too, so I thought that was already a good community outreach by, I guess, that Mr. Brennan's building there. I thought that was very nice.
The restaurants.
We had all the restaurants that were there. We had Fink's there. We had Hacienda there. We had Dunkin' Donuts there. We had Forgia there. I was doing my own, so you can mention.
We had Curley's Corner, it was
Yeah, don't
wonderful
mention
to
me.
us.
Who else? Like, who are the other ones?
The Indian restaurant we had, sorry,
Narani Indian
Noor, I can't say it right, that's why I went, Noor,
Yeah,
they were there.
they were very generous too. A lot of
Villaggio.
restaurants are very generous.
Yeah.
I had Mike Genito and Kevin Genito working on at the Curley's Corner front stand there, okay? They asked me to get paid afterwards. I was disappointed, otherwise, that's a joke. That's a joke.
No, but it was a wonderful community day, from
it
beginning of the day to the
it
night.
was good.
With all the volunteers, it really was
I don't know if you know anyone else that was there. You can
fantastic.
mention. Oh, Diddy's was there also. Diddy's was there.
Yep.
Donating.
Was it?
Who? The new diner.
The new
The new
diner.
diner was there. So
Yeah.
it was good. It was a good, a lot of
Yeah.
people were there who care about this village. Bagel train, okay?
And Duncan, thank you.
I'd like to give him credit
Angela
there.
was one of the ones that helped out at the food, so she saw
Right.
everything come in. Sushi Bata, they gave as well.
Sushi bar, okay,
Yep.
very good. All right, very good, and, well, that was a success, so, very good. Maybe we'll have 3 or 4 next year, Suffern Days, Cathy.
Oh, my
Let's start
God.
planning it. Okay. Let's start planning it, all right? You had a good time, didn't you, Kat?
I did, I really
Good.
did. It was
Okay, then maybe we'll do 6.
It was fantastic.
I might be underselling.
Joe was trying to mention, what were we saying,
I
Joe?
might be underselling.
What is it? El Villaggio.
Yeah, El
Joe was
Villaggio.
there, yeah,
They were
okay. Baguette, El Baguette was there?
Who?
El Baguette, are they there?
Yeah,
El Baguette?
yep,
I think that's,
yep. There was so many.
It was different for people, because some weren't open that I want to, again, extra appreciation, because some opened later that day, whereas they're open all day Saturday, might not have been open all day Sunday, but
Yeah.
they came in, they were
pulled
good
through.
troopers.
It
and
really was nice.
They did the right thing, and we thanked them, so. All right, Cathy, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Cathy, I had a quick
Yes.
question. So can you tell me more about the dog day at Leo Leiden's? Remind me what that is.
If it's all right, Frank is part, so it's from the Lions Club.
Okay.
And they're using the field up by Yorkshire Park, and it's 11 to 2. I don't know if,
Cathy, you always go in it, don't you, Joe? You always-
do, yeah.
Joe goes in it too?
Just parade your dog, or is it?
yeah, I think you give prizes, Frank.
Blue ribbons.
Oh, I see.
Joe's dog is a prize winner.
We have one special thing that we do.
But it's a free event, if I'm correct, Frank?
He's the best kisser, it's the only thing he does. It's the only thing he's got in him. He doesn't listen really well.
All right, thank you, Cathy.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
At this point, I'd like to have a motion to open up public comment period, limited to 4 minutes per speaker. Please have a motion, open up public comment.
Motion, trustee Hagen.
Motion made by trustee Hagen, can I get a second, please?
Second, trustee Corrigan.
Second made by trustee Felton, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, at this point, anyone like to have any comments, please come up.
Hello. I would like to know if I didn't submit my inquiry properly, but I emailed to Mr. Sawicki as well about the sidewalk, and there was no response. So I don't know if the village has a different system.
Tell me
of
more
snow.
about what you're talking about, please.
I've sent photos of trucks that are parked on the sidewalk, and there's a school bus stop right there, feet away. And it's being used as a lane on Wayne Avenue.
Okay, didn't I text you back and tell you to call the police whenever you see this, so they can push them away?
Wait, push me, who away?
So we can push these vehicles away. I asked you to contact the police whenever you see this.
So
they can ticket them, and if people start getting ticketed, enforcement
okay,
has
so
an
you're
effect.
saying that I should call the police every time I see...
Yes.
911. 911?
If you feel it's necessary, you can call 357-2300, the Suffern Police Department. I know you're new to the area, but you're welcome to call. Chief, can you come up for a second? Every day we get different, things from residents and whatnot, okay, about their concerns about speeding and whatnot, okay? The police department is the unit that would enforce that. It's illegal to park on sidewalks, and yes, it does go on in this village. And our best weapon to stop that and enforce it and to stop it in the whole village is to punish those people that are doing it. So when you sent that, I actually sent back to you, I said, call the police. And you actually answered me back on that. And I said, yeah, every time if you have to.
And you said you were going to put something there to prevent it so that I don't have to call the police.
What I explained to you, the last thing I sent you was that please call the police, okay? We have many streets that we can't sidewalks, we can't block because of wheelchairs and other things. So I have, it's a tough time, what you're asking me to do, I can't do in all the streets of Suffern. So if you please would call the police.
Okay.
When you see it, it's okay. Chief, you will respond, correct, Chief?
Absolutely. I feel that if Mr. Sawicki had a solution, that he had said that they would speak to somebody about it and maybe put something there so that, because trucks of that size...
Have you called the police since I advised you to call the police, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Please try calling the police then. Please try that first, please.
Don't people...
Okay.
In the morning if I'm calling the police.
No, that's what we're here for. If you see
So that you're
something
gonna go there and then the truck won't be there anymore. Because they come and use it as a lane. So it's not like you're gonna be...
Our police are very efficient, they'll come quickly.
We have a very fast response time, but we can also look for some extra patrols to keep an eye on it.
Okay, there's a school bus stop right there on the corner. And I can show you photos to see which sidewalks we're talking about.
Okay.
Thank you. And another question, may I ask?
The speaker, do me a favor. I know, just pull it to you a little bit or go closer to it. It's hard for everyone to hear.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, because she keeps track of the minutes and we're trying to make it easier for her.
So my next door neighbor, I'm not familiar exactly with all of the requirements, but you had said something about calling the DEC for a spray booth, and I wanted to know what the outcome of that call was, because I haven't spoken to you about it since.
There's a spray booth where the gentleman came and got a permit for, okay? Before, he can come get a permit. Before he will get a C of O for that, he has to do certain things, whatever those certain legal things are, okay? So he will not get a permit to a C of O for it until he does whatever is required or necessary.
You said you said you would be calling the DEC, so I wanted to know what the outcome of that was.
Go ahead. If I'm not mistaken, the DEC's actually been on that.
They have been?
Been on that location.
So,
So he will listen, you are having a fight with a neighbor also, is that correct?
No, I wouldn't say a fight.
Have you gotten money from your neighbor? Has your neighbor given you any money for doing anything? Isn't it true your neighbor's giving you money?
No, not for...
Isn't it true your neighbor...
Listen, you're mixing apples and oranges.
Did your neighbor
my neighbor is my neighbor.
Did your neighbor give you any money? That's all I'm asking you, yes or no?
Did my neighbor give me any money? I'm not...
With a conflict you had with him on some issue there, yes or no?
Not on that issue. Nothing related to...
Did your neighbor give you money in reference to...
Nothing. Listen, my
Yes or
neighbor
no?
can give me... Another neighbor can also give me money, but if we're talking
that
about...
neighbor- did
I
that
don't want to
neighbor-
get off of the issue that I'm talking about. Is it safe air?
I just asked you a simple question. Did
But
your
it's
neighbor
not
give you money,
relevant.
yes or
There's
no?
no relevance. There's no relevance to the issue that I'm asking
Did he
you
give you
about.
money, yes or no?
He's given me money, but not for...
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so,
Now-
no, answer the question. Is the air safe to breathe there?
Is it what?
Is the air safe to breathe while they're are they operating, in fact, with a spray booth?
Haven't there always been an auto body? When you purchased that property, was there not a spray booth there? Yes or no?
Not to my knowledge that I've ever known.
Well, there was. There was an auto body shop there.
Oh, there was? Okay.
There was
So-
an auto body shop. It says it right on the sign next to you. There's been an auto body shop there for many, many, many
I live
years.
in a residence, and nobody who even works there, if it was just, let's say somebody, you want to say that it shouldn't be safe as a residence there? Is that what you're trying to say?
Of course you should be. I don't know that you're not safe. Do you have proof you're not safe?
No, that's why we get studies of the air or something, like you had suggested.
Wait a second. When you moved in there was an auto body shop.
Why?
The modern spray booths are actually more efficient and actually safer for you than the old style spray booths.
Okay, so...
You agree with that?
I would say that with progress, there's technology.
That's good, thank you. So I cannot stop, if the man was auto body shop before, this village does not have the power to stop him from being an auto body shop again. Okay? So that's not, if you have a conflict with your neighbor, then
This is not a conflict, I don't have a conflict with my neighbor.
Okay, good, then what's the question about?
Because I don't know, I don't have the information. I'm asking you for the information.
I have no information that anything is in worse situation than it was a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 10 years ago, no.
Okay, so
If you have some information you can provide us with, that it's dangerous, I have no information that fact.
So the permits are for the purpose of keeping safety in check, so that if something is done within the scope of a permit, it means that it should be done in a safe way?
Well, I hope it's done I hope anything is done in a safe way. That's a general question in my mind.
So you're saying it was done in a safe way because they got the correct permit? I'm just trying to understand.
Well, he put in a permit to put in a spray booth. We discussed it with the attorneys, both attorneys, and at the last meeting, we also, someone had asked something about it. So, yes, he got his permit, or else I explained it. He got his permit. We done it under the advisement of counsel. And the attorneys told us to give them a permit, yes. Both attorneys, Mr. Magrino, who is the actual building department attorney,
And he has
Terry
knowledge,
Wright. Yeah.
so he has knowledge that's equivalent to something that you had mentioned about the DEC. So
What's that?
that attorney has knowledge from that
He's
perspective.
not here, I can't speak for him.
Okay.
But he felt good enough that he felt the right to give. I don't speak for anyone else, but he's felt that he could give a permit, correct?
I just don't know if he's qualified to do that. but,
What's that?
I don't know if that
If you can bring
attorney...
forth some proof that there's a more dangerous situation, I ask you to bring it back right now. Go get it now or bring it tomorrow. If you have some proof. But,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
Thank you.
Lance Weinstein, 4 Valley View Terrace. Let me start off by saying, Chief Loughlin, I recognize your officers out there all the time on the foot patrol, and as a resident, I appreciate that. Joe, your guys are always out there.
Lance, Mr. Weinstein, you have to speak into the microphone or she can't get your minutes. She can't get it either. Please speak into the microphone.
Joe, your guys are always out there.
Thank you.
In bad weather, doing a great job. Now we'll start off to the questions. Actually, no, I'm going to circle back to this last lady's questions. First of all, it's my opinion, as mayor of this village, you overstepped by questioning her on her personal issues. You overstepped your boundaries. Second, with respect to the auto body shop, it's always been known as Suffern Sales and Service, not known as Suffern Auto Body Shop. 3, I would like to know what the hiring process is for the DPW. I know they're short a lot of spots. With respect to the September 5th meeting, Village Board meeting, while you were addressing my questions regarding 23 Wayne Avenue, you stated you and the building inspector responded to that address. While you were there, you stated you advised people at this property they can't work without a permit. You then said you didn't see them working or see any work being done. If you didn't see any work or anyone working, then why did you tell the people at the property they can't work without a permit? Since this meeting, I obtained a photo taken on July 19th at 10:53 a.m. The same day you said the building inspector and you went to this address and saw no work being done. Would this photo refresh your memory? This photo clearly depicts workers digging a trench adjacent to the foundation on the east side of 23 Wayne Avenue. Also, I asked this question at the last meeting, but you didn't answer it. When the property owner received his permit, did he get charged the additional fee? On July 25th, 2023, permit 23-106 was issued to remove and replace shingles, to remove and replace sheetrock, and to build a 2.5 high retaining wall. On July 21st, 2023, the owner of 23 Wayne Avenue, Pincus Newman, filled out an application for the permit that turned out to be 23-106. He put down on his application he was going to change the roof, redo sheetrock, and add a retaining wall of 2.5 feet. He put down the estimated cost was $20,000. What's suspect about this application is the owner stated he was doing the work himself on a large commercial building. Didn't you or the building inspector find this to be odd or question it? On August 21st, 2023, the building inspector responded and issued a final C of O regarding permit 22-146 regarding to a facade change that he applied for and got a permit for. This was on August 21st, 2023. Your building inspector didn't take notice to the major construction work that took place at 23 Wayne Avenue, where the retaining wall turned out to be a foundation for the east side of the building, or the height of the roof was raised 7 feet. He didn't take notice to that while he was issuing this CFO. That draws concern. Lastly, is it common practice to issue a permit when there's a stop work order in effect?
Any other people want to speak? And then I'll address that concern afterwards. I'll correct the facts on that. Any other comments from anyone?
Does it even rebuttal your facts?
I'm going to rebuttal. Yeah, there are a lot of facts. Sorry, you're not at the audience. Can I please have a motion to close the public hearing, please?
Motion, Trustee Corrigan.
Public comment period? Motion. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second made by
Trustee Hogue.
Trustee Hogue. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Department of Public Works, Charles?
Good evening. Requesting authorization for payment application number 15 for Meal Electric Company for the Gosher Hardening of Water Treatment Plant Project in the amount of $9,168.45.
Can I have a motion, please?
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion by Trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Trustee
Second made by Trustee Alpert. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Requesting authorization for payment application number 16 for TAM Enterprises for the Gosher Hardening of Water Treatment Plant Project in the amount of $11,162.50.
Can I have a motion, please?
Trustee Corrigan.
Can I get a second? Trustee Hagen. Moved by Trustee Hagen. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, next item C, requesting authorization to discharge S&L Plumbing Corp. from its obligations pursuant of its bid on the Village Hall boiler replacement project, and award the contract to Joe Lombardo Plumbing and Heating of Rockland, Inc., in the amount of $249,967.43.
That's in reference to, we had a guy who put the first boiler bid in. I guess he found out he couldn't do it for the job, so he denied taking the job, so we had to go to the second bidder, okay? So that's what we're doing at this point. So right now, that boiler's already, we're moving along, and we're gonna have it in for the winter. So can I please have a motion for a partial resolution discharging S&L Plumbing and Heating Corp. from its obligation pursuant to bid on the Village Hall boiler replacement project and awarding this contract for the Village Hall boilers replacement project to Joe Lombardo Plumbing and Heating of Rockland, Inc.
Motion, Trustee
Motion
Alpert.
made by Trustee Alpert, second please.
Second, Trustee Corrigan.
Second made by Trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Charles, one more thing real quick. You expect a lot of these paving jobs to be starting soon on the different roads?
Yes, I don't have an exact date. With all the
Weather
rain.
permitting,
Yeah, with
correct?
all the rain we've been having, it's been pushed back a little bit.
Okay.
But our goal certainly is to get it done in the next, certainly this month, with the next couple weeks.
Thank you very much, Charles. Appreciate it.
Good evening, Board, Mayor and Board. We only have two resolutions before you tonight. One is that we had a project, 2019-006, which is the purchase of a backhoe. Project was originally estimated to be $150,000 with a $125,000 grant that was coming from DASNY, and the other $25,000 coming from the general fund. Ultimately, the backhoe was purchased for $128,528, which essentially leaves $21,472 of unspent funds that we are recommending be returned to the general fund.
Thank you, Mike. Can I please have a motion establishing project,
Yeah, Trustee Hagen will make the motion.
I get a motion, resolution, return unspent project 2019-06 DPW backhoe funds, please?
Okay.
Motion, Trustee Alpert.
Motion made by Trustee Alpert. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Trustee Corrigan.
Second made by Trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, the second resolution is simply to establish a project number 2024-004 for parking lot A repaving. As you know, they already adopted that project in the amount of $220,000, $200,000 from CDBG grant funds, and the other $20,000 a contribution from the village.
Can I please have a motion to establish project 2024-004, parking lot A repaving, please?
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan, seconded by trustee Hogue. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Genito. Thank you very much, sir. At this point, does trustees have any comments or anything to say?
I have 5 things.
Go ahead, Frank.
The prosecutor resigned, Yodowitz.
Yes.
Is he being replaced? Just a question.
It's on your sheet right in front of you.
He's being replaced?
He's being replaced for a month-to-month basis.
Okay.
At this point. Yes.
Second, the code enforcer, did you pick one, or is that here too?
It's the same one, Jordan Tannenbaum. It's the same one. He actually has finished his courses. He actually now can actual issue violations. He finished that. We're very happy with that. So just as the building inspector can, just as he can, they will both be daytime people, which, and given violations during the day, all right? I've talked with Jordan on different occasions. I'm very happy with him as a guy who cares about the village. He's in our ladder company, truck company over there with our chief in the fire department, and I think he's a good addition, huh? We just have to just follow this rule here with the Department of Personnel. So we're just making Department of Personnel wanted us to do it this way, and we're doing it because of the Department of Personnel, huh?
All right, the next question, which firehouse, Jeremy, is it 9th October, Family Day?
I'm sorry?
The 9th of October, you're doing Family Day?
Yeah,
The hose company.
The hose company, okay.
Yeah, the family drill is at the hose company, 6 p.m. Next Monday.
That's it. One more was I think everyone that worked hard for the village yesterday should get a raise. They did a great job at Suffern Day.
As you know, they're in contract right now, so they probably will get a raise, Frank.
I didn't know that.
Okay?
I'm just making a statement that it's a great job. By everyone, including the board, including yourself. And the 5th thing I have is for trustee Alpert. Dog Day is done up at the, across the street from Leo Lighting. It's every year. It's usually at the end of September. You have a dog you want to bring over?
That's what I was asking, is just to find out more information about what the event, is just to show off your dog, or do the dogs do tricks? I don't know what the thing is.
So you can ask me. I'm in the Lions Club. I've been in it for about 100 years, and now you know. You can ask me. Thank you. That's my comment.
Anybody else?
I have one thing that I want to say. Speaking of dogs, I have 2 dogs. I walk every day in the morning, and I've taken it upon myself over the last month or two. As I walk the dog, I carry an extra bag, and I pick up things, litter and whatnot, that I find in my neighborhood. And I'd say that 90% of the litter that I find, 90% is cigarette butts. And I'm not sure who's depositing them all over the place, but I would say I pick up about 10 or 15 cigarette butts every day. It's a lot, and I don't know why residents have such some of the residents, rather, that are doing this, have such a disregard for that, but I just wanted to say, hey, what up with that, It's not cool, that's all.
Thank you. All right, we're all good? Okay, so right now, at this moment, I have a resolution accepting the resignation of Robert Yodowitz. He has worked here for many years as a prosecutor. I guess he's going on to relax, enjoy himself, work differently, so I wish him nothing but the best of luck. He's probably been here since far back as 2009, 2010, and, lived in our community for many years, so I wish him, and I hope this whole board, and on behalf of the whole village, I wish him health and happiness. Can I please have a motion, please, accepting his resignation?
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second, trustee Alpert.
Second made by trustee Alpert. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. At this point, there's a gentleman named, I want to make a resolution appointing Eric Holzer. I've gotten him on the recommendation from, Robert Greeno, for just on a short-term basis here to do our prosecution of our tickets. He's actually worked with the village before. So, can I have a resolution appointing Eric Holzer as village prosecutor of the Village of Suffern on a month-to-month basis, please?
Motion.
Motion made by trustee Alpert, seconded by trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And this one's in reference to Mr. Jordan Tattlebaum, in reference to the position, creating that position. That's the person who has that position. I have a motion to establish the position of part-time code enforcement officer 2. Motion.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second made by trustee Hogue. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, very good. There were a lot of questions there, so I'm going to address some as I have before. We were advised of a situation on 23 Wayne Avenue by the neighbor. That would be Lady Towle, who was standing up there before. I got in touch with the building inspector. The building inspector went there. Nobody was working. We told them not to work. There were mechanics there working on cars. Those are the people we told not to work, the mechanics, right? We didn't want them to do any other work. They didn't do any work. On that same day, the building owner came in and requested a building permit. I think that building permit was issued then, I'm going off memory now, on July 25th, okay, on whatever he said it was. At a later date in August, we found out that he went further than what his building permit says, which does happen sometimes, and it happens more often than most people realize. When we do violation searches every week in this village, there's a possibility of finding someone that did something that they hadn't got permission for, whether you added to your deck or you added a door or something. So it's not something that doesn't happen. It's happened for years and years in this village. But what we did based on that is the gentleman got a stop work order. The building inspector also brought down a code enforcement officer, Mr. Randy Ortiz, who's worked for this village for many years, a very honorable man, okay? And Randy issued a stop work order and a notice of violation. The guy then did stop working. He's been advised to go to the planning board to get things corrected, and if need be, the zoning board, okay? Just as however long it takes him to go, if it takes him a month or two to do that, 3 months, that's what it takes. You need your engineer, you need your architect, and you need all the personnel. We had other businesses recently that just came to the planning board this week who've had that information for months and didn't come forth. Just came to this planning board the other day, who were told to come to the planning board and didn't come for many months. They just put their app, so that is not uncommon and not illegal either. So this man has done what he's supposed to do then. He did do too much then. He then came in and asked for a building permit to put a spray booth in, okay? At that point, the building inspector contacted the attorney, Robert Magrino, and also Terry Rice. They advised him that yes, you have to give him a building permit to put in a spray booth. And I'll give a different example. If I have a restaurant and I'm doing work, and I get a stop work order on construction on it, okay? And I want to put in a different Coca-Cola system that runs my business, they can't stop me. Or if they do, we could be held liable for many hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars if we ruin that person's business. So that was the premise, that just like if they came and they said they wanted to replace a car jack in there or whatever else, they were allowed to do it, okay? Now, as many people know, when people do sometimes go too far, this is a commercial building. It's been, and the misrepresentations here today are terrible. It's been an auto body shop for years. It's been right up down the street from me. The Genito family owned that auto body shop, okay? And it's been an auto body shop with a spray booth. The guy now, the new owner who was invested money in it, he bought it and he's invested money, is now asking to put a new spray booth in, which is actually safer than the old spray booth, than the old style spray booth, because of the requirements. So unless he has, you can go get your permit. You don't have to have, when you apply for something to go ahead and do work, it doesn't mean you get every permit. I can buy, and I'll go back to a restaurant. When Marcello bought Marcello's, he bought Marcello's and he did work on it to make it a restaurant. He got a permit to do work on it. He then gets his liquor license. He then gets his other soda machines or whatever may come in. That's the process of business. If you're in private business, you'll understand what goes on and how tough it is, okay? The building inspector has nothing but been honest and honorable. The people in the building department have been nothing but honest and honorable and have followed the law. Okay? Now, in reference to a window you talked about, that window actually went to the planning board. That actually was a planning board issue also, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? So there's so many facts you don't have right here. As far as July 19th, I don't know about July 19th. Were there people there? Yeah, there were mechanics. It was a mechanic and auto body shop, all right? So yeah, there were people there who we said, hey, don't do work to. And nor did they. And nor did they. So am I glad when someone comes here and does work and improves this village? I am, okay? And I will not treat anyone different under race, creed, religion, or anything else. But yes, people do go too far, and then we stop them. This village has done its job correctly. And we will continue to improve our building department and do things correctly, okay? But allegations without proof is just reckless talk, okay? And people talk about this. My job is to protect this village. And my job is to protect the businesses and people and to treat them equally. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to treat them equally. So, we've also gone to places, houses, where if someone comes for an original building permit and they estimate it's going to cost us $10. And then we see, well, this is a little more than $10. I'll give you an example. The building inspector cost one. I don't have the road in my head. Our new building inspector caught a house. He came in and got a building permit to do this much work, $50,000. He went in and he said, you didn't do $50,000 here. You did a lot more than that. And then he got the extra building permit too, the extra fees, after the fact, because you don't know it originally, okay? But as I said, I'm happy with our new code enforcer. I'm happy with our building inspector, who can write any violation in the village of Suffern or the state of New York. But these different allegations, I mean, Frank, you're a trustee here for years. You've never asked me one question about this, all right? Never asked me one query. You're a trustee, you're on Facebook with it, but you never personally, as a trustee, asked me one single question. And I'm baffled by that, okay? I'm baffled by that, because you are a trustee with us, all right? And I don't, and what I won't allow is this property has years and years ago, I don't know if anyone knows, there was a fire in that property, okay? And I'm very scared, and I feel I have an obligation to protect that man at that property. Because someone in this village at 23 Wayne Avenue started a fire there. Someone in this village started, and I will also point out that the gentleman that owns the property went to the police department and asked for Mr. Weinstein, if he comes back on, that he's not allowed on his property. And he filed something with this police department because he doesn't want to. He has a right to operate fairly and honestly. So he went and filed something with the police department, and Mr. Weinstein was notified of that fact, that he's not allowed on that property. But I fear litigation may come out of this case, and not against the village. Not against the village. I told Frank Hagen personally, I said, Frank, be very careful here. Don't let your politics get in the way of government. I told him that personally in my office the other day. And I mean that because I will not defend anyone for politics or for government comes first and the people come first. And everyone will be treated the same, and that's what we do. Can government make mistakes? You better believe we can. But we haven't made any mistakes here. We've been honorable. The people in the office done their job. The only one who can actually issue and do a building permit is the one lady up here that's worked here for years. Honorable, good person in the CSEA. And as Frank said, yeah, there will be raises because we do have honorable people and hard-working people of CSEA. And I do thank the chief of police because he sat down with this board, and this board and we've discussed together what we think is better for this village. And together, we're making it a better village with the police department, with the chief, with the lieutenant, with the officers, understanding that things are always changing. With change, we have to change. We have to adjust for the goodness of communities. Thank you very much. Can I please have a motion, please, to close the meeting?
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second made by Trustee Hogue. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Have a good day, folks.